Do you believe wholeheartedly that Jay's your father?
I really do. It is important that I know who my biological father is. If you're not the father, why you ain't just get this done and over with? You know, my mom was a dancer. She used to go to a couple concerts with our friends, and basically they went to an apartment building, you know, they relaxed and chilled and, you know, had sex.
What if I told you that Jay-Z's carefully guarded legacy might be on the verge of total collapse, not because of a diss track or a business deal gone wrong, but because of a DNA test he's been running from for over a decade?
If it's not, why you can't prove me wrong? As far as a proving me wrong thing, is go to the courtroom and basically do what everybody else would have to do. Like,
a young man has come forward yet again, claiming to be Jay-Z's secret son, and now the courts are finally forcing the truth out.
Well, the first time I heard that Jay-Z probably was my father, my mom came up to me and was like, "Hey Rob, you know I got something to tell you. That's your dad for real." And I'm like, I was shocked, like, "Mom, what are you talking about?"
But here's the twist. This isn't about money, clout, or even fame. This is about a son who says he just wants his father to look him in the eye.
I never asked for money. I don't do interviews just saying, "Hey Jay-Z, give me your money," or "I'm coming at the Jay-Z for his money." I never did that. I'm not that type of person enough, and I'm just really coming out here for the truth. I don't want no money or anything. I wasn't looking for none of that. I just want to know the truth, and if I can't go to the courts and get the truth, like, I just really want it over. It's something that's really affected my life, and I just want it over with.
And it's got Matthew Knowles furious, Beyoncé caught in the crossfire, and Jay-Z scrambling behind legal walls. What exactly is Jay-Z hiding, and why now?
Has Jay-Z or any of his people tried to reach out to you?
I mean, I wouldn't say they trying to stop it, but they definitely don't want it out there. I would say that. It's crazy to me. You know, I'm not asking for no money or nothing. I'm not asking for no handouts or nothing like that. I work every day. I take care of my family. Only thing I'm asking for, if it's not the truth and there's nothing wrong with the Supreme Court, like, you know, just get it over with.
Because after years of silence, the story is unraveling, and the results are in. Before we dive deep into this explosive saga, if you're into raw, unfiltered breakdowns of celebrity stories that the mainstream avoids, go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe. We've got receipts, we've got drama, and we've got some truths that are finally surfacing. Let's get into it. Let's start with something bizarre and terrifying. Ramir Satterthwaite, the man who's been saying for years that he's Jay-Z's hidden son, recently revealed a chilling story. One day, while heading to work, he opens his car door and finds a gun just sitting inside. Confused and scared, he immediately calls a friend to ask if they'd accidentally left it there. But before he can get any answers, the police pull up out of nowhere and arrest him. It sounds like something out of a movie, but here's where it gets darker. Security footage later showed a man walking up and planting the gun in Ramir's car. What are the odds? Why would someone set him up like that? And who would benefit from discrediting or silencing this man right before major movement in a court case against one of the most powerful names in music? People close to Ramir believe this wasn't random. They say this is just one of many examples of harassment and intimidation he's faced ever since he started calling out Jay-Z publicly. If this is true, it's not just a messy family situation, it's a dangerous one. After nearly 13 years of delays, dismissals, and legal gymnastics, the case has finally reached a turning point. The New Jersey Supreme Court has ordered Jay-Z to submit to a DNA test, something he's avoided for over a decade. Why is this so huge? Because Jay-Z's legal team has always been able to dodge this test using technicalities. They argued jurisdiction. They denied connections. They said the documents naming Sean Carter weren't definitively about Jay-Z, and in the process, Ramir's fight kept getting tossed aside. But this time, with growing pressure from public advocates and a pile of circumstantial evidence, the court overrode previous rulings. It's the first time Jay-Z can't run, and for Ramir, who's been painted as a liar or a clout chaser by critics, this feels like a moment of validation. But it also raises a pressing question. If Jay-Z had nothing to hide all along, why fight so hard against a simple test? Now, here's where things get really uncomfortable for the Carter family, at least. Beyoncé's father, Matthew Knowles, has reportedly had enough. Sources say he's been livid behind the scenes, frustrated that Jay-Z's alleged past behavior keeps dragging Beyoncé into scandal. And remember, this isn't Jay-Z's first PR mess. From the infamous elevator fight with Solange, to cheating confessions, to his name now floating around in rumors tied to Diddy Jay-Z, seems to carry controversy like a shadow. Matthew is reportedly furious that Beyoncé, who's spent decades building a nearly flawless image, keeps getting associated with her husband's drama. He believes Jay-Z should have handled this quietly and maturely years ago before it exploded into public spectacle. And he's not wrong. Because now, with DNA results looming and the internet watching, this isn't just about Jay, it's about the Carter legacy crumbling in real time. To understand why this case won't go away, you have to go back to the early 1990s. Ramir's mother was only 16 years old when she allegedly dated a 22-year-old Jay-Z. According to Ramir, the relationship didn't last long, and by the time he was born in 1993, his mother had reunited with her high school sweetheart, Robert Graves. For years, Robert's name was listed as Ramir's father on legal documents. But when Ramir was old enough to ask questions, his mother confessed Jay-Z was the real father. A DNA test confirmed Robert wasn't biologically connected to Ramir. But when it came time for Jay-Z to take the test, he refused. And that's when the legal maze began. From Pennsylvania to New Jersey, case after case was dismissed. But Ramir kept fighting, motivated not by fame, but by a desire to know where he came from. That emotional Corleone young man's search for identity has carried this story through 13 long years. For the first time since this drama began, Jay-Z has publicly responded through his legal team, and let's just say it wasn't warm. Jay-Z's lawyers are calling this whole thing a decades-long harassment campaign. They claim the allegations have already been debunked multiple times and that Ramir has refused to let it go. They even say they tried reaching out to Ramir's legal guardians to settle things, but were met with hostility. Ramir, however, tells a very different story. He says the only thing he's ever wanted was to meet the man he believes is his father, and that all attempts at contact were either ignored or weaponized against him. So who's telling the truth here? Jay-Z's cold and dismissive tone isn't helping his image. In fact, the longer he avoids directly confronting the claim, the more it fuels the theory that he might be hiding something damaging. It's not just Ramir anymore. In a surprising twist, major civil rights organizations like the NAACP and ACLU have stepped in, backing Ramir's right to a fair legal process. They argue that this is bigger than celebrity gossip. This is about access to justice. They say Ramir has been denied basic due process for years, and his persistence deserves more than dismissal. And here's the irony. Jay-Z himself has built much of his brand on social justice advocacy. So when a young black man claims he's being silenced by money and power, it starts to look like a very uncomfortable contradiction. Civil rights groups are now pressuring the court to ensure that Jay-Z doesn't get special treatment and that truth, not influence, decides the outcome. The tide of public opinion is shifting fast. At first, people laughed off Ramir's story as another fame seeker trying to get rich off a celebrity's name. But after the gun incident, the gag orders, the court delays, and now the DNA test, people are angry. Comment sections are filling up with viewers calling Jay-Z a coward, a hypocrite, and worse. Some say this might be the one scandal that actually leaves a permanent stain. Others are even digging up old interviews, comparing Jay-Z's facial structure with Ramir's, pointing out similarities, and speculating that the truth was always hiding in plain sight. It's no longer, is he the father? It's become, why won't he just prove he isn't? Let's not pretend Beyoncé is untouched by this. Whenever Jay-Z finds himself in hot water, her name trends right alongside his. And this time, it's especially ugly. If the DNA proves Jay-Z fathered a child with a minor, the moral fallout would be catastrophic, not just for him, but for her brand, her businesses, and their joint legacy. Beyoncé has fought hard to present herself as untouchable, controlled, and ethical, but now, fans and media are questioning how much she knew and when. Did she stay silent to protect him? Did she ever pressure him to take the test? And if she didn't, why not? These aren't just fan theories anymore, they're questions being asked on major platforms, and the silence from her camp? Deafening. Through all of this, Ramir has remained calm, collected, humble. He says he's doing just fine in life. He's got a job, takes care of his kids, and drives a decent car. This isn't about a payout, it's about closure. He says he's not trying to ruin Jay-Z's reputation. In fact, he says he's prepared to accept embarrassment if he's proven wrong. But silence, denial, stonewalling, that's what's killing him. In a raw moment, he said, "If I can't go to the courts and get the truth, then what are we all paying taxes for?" And honestly, that hit hard. It reframes the entire story. This isn't about a superstar dodging scandal. It's about whether the justice system still works when power and celebrity are involved. With the DNA test now court-ordered, there's no more stalling. Jay-Z is running out of options, and if the results come back positive, it won't just rock the music industry, it'll shatter the Carter empire. The timing couldn't be worse. Beyoncé's in the middle of major brand deals, Jay-Z's facing whispers about his ties to Diddy. And this could be the match that lights the whole thing up. Whether Ramir is Jay-Z's son or not, one thing is certain. This isn't going away quietly. The truth is coming. And once it's out, there's no turning back. What do you think is Ramir telling the truth? And why would someone like Jay-Z fight so hard against a DNA test if he's got nothing to hide? Let me know your thoughts in the comments, especially if you've seen those side-by-side photos. And if you want more no BS breakdowns of stories the celebrity PR machines don't want you to hear, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on that notification bell. There's more tea brewing, and we'll be the first to spill it. See you next time, Betties!